Guy's going to talk about technology. Navy guy's going to see travel the world, and they're each supposed to take 15 minutes, but they each take about 20. Leaves about 2 minutes for the guy in the Marines to come up. So what does he do? He gets up there and says, about 2 of you could cut it, and sits down. The line is to see the guy in the Marines, because you want to be special. It's important that you create a culture on your team, right? So how you handle things, how you do things. This is what we say is we're talking on their team call earlier. You don't want to try to manage your team. I am a horrible manager. You will get stressed out trying to manage your team. What you want to do is you want to mentor your team. Like we were talking earlier, you get paid for getting loyal customers. You get paid to recruit distributors. Do you get a check for managing your team? No. So people spend so much time managing their team, and then they end up miserable and they end up mad at their teams. Instead, what you want to do is you want to model the behavior you want others to do, and then you want to mentor them. So going back to the idea of posting to Facebook, I want to post on Facebook. So what I'm doing is and so this is what I want all of you to do is take out your notebooks, and we're going to start to create a profile of the kind of person we want on our team. So think about some of the best people that you have on your team. Like, is there any character traits that they have in common? Is there any, so you start to think of, so like when I go to post, I'm literally thinking, like a lot of times what I literally do is in the morning, like I don't type it out on the computer, I literally wake up in the morning and I'm not sure what I'm gonna post, but I just start to write. I like open up Facebook and I'm literally writing. But I'm not posting to Facebook, I'm posting on Facebook, which means that I'm thinking of a specific person in mind. So what will happen is probably over the next 2-3 days, I will probably put out a post thinking of 1 or 2 of you, of a conversation that we have. And something that you said made me think about something, and so I'm going to write you a note. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on Facebook for everybody else to read. So I'm writing it to a person and then making it public so everybody can read. Recently, I'm not always great with compliments and things. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm that friend that irritates you, like just take the freaking compliment. But recently people said, like, I feel like you are writing to me. And it's like, yeah, because I am writing to you. So a lot of times I'm like literally many of the times I am thinking it's a 33-year-old single mom, she has 2 small boys. I'm writing. I'm using different words then. So I'm not saying, like I was even talking to, we have a golf course, if you didn't know, and they were working on a Facebook post, and just the wording that they used, it was like, it was almost like, hey everybody, and I was like, no, like, who are we talking to? So I want you to think, like, and by the way, you can have more than 1 profile. So there's sometimes when it's, hey, I'm writing to guys. So like No Shave November, I'm not writing that to a 33-year-old female, you know, right? So good. Well, in France.
In France,
but typically, what you need to do is you're writing to that next rock star on your team. So we have to start asking ourselves questions. How old are they? So think about some of the questions where we say, when we go through and say who, right? So let's write down what, when, where, and why. And I'm going to show you, because I want you to stay big picture, right? Because this is a concept that it doesn't matter if it's Instagram. I think the problem with many people's Instagram posts is they don't tell a story in their post. You know, my friend was like, he was in Detroit a couple weeks ago, and he was like, yeah, I'm in Detroit. And it was this, you know, really cool picture. And I was like, well, why are you in Detroit? Well, because I'm going to visit the Hope Center. Because Well, because I'm establishing a literacy program. Because, like, I got this 4th grader who can't read. So now, you're not just like, hey, I'm in Detroit. You're like, I can't wait. Like, hey, you write the post in such a way where that now tells a story. So let's go through some of these. Start thinking who, and again, you might have like 3 or 5 profiles that you start to think of, but start thinking male or female, write it down. Are they in their 20s or in their 30s? Are they older? Are they engaged? Are they married? Do they have kids? So you start, because what you want to do is the more you can visualize and in your mind think of who that person is, the more personal your posts are. Now, you're not going to write it in such a way of like, hey, I'm looking for a 33-year-old mom. But what it helps me do is I picture that. I picture I picture one of you when I'm doing my posts, because it makes that post more powerful, because it's about relationship. So you start thinking of that. Okay, then think of the what. So there's a difference between what and why. I think most people come into the business for a what before they find their why.
Yes, that makes sense.
So whenever we say, hey, what's your why? I'm not posting for people's why just yet. What I'm posting is right now I'm thinking because if I'm thinking 33, because you really have to understand is that time of the day of the week, season, and at the end of the month, money is tighter than the beginning of the month, right? So, but we don't think of that, because what happens is, if I ask all of you to just take out your phone and go to the map, the whole world revolves around you. You're the center of it. All the notifications are about you, and if you're not careful, everything is you. So what we have to do is we have to start thinking of that other person. So I'm going and I want to know what is her what right now. And I know Christmas is coming up. So that's probably a really great post, because she's probably stressing about Christmas. If summer was coming up, that's a different kind of post. But when you think of that person, you're starting to think of that. Now, here's another part of that, is when is that person? You're like, what do you mean, when is that person? Okay. The problem with many people when they get to a certain level and they get to quit their job, they now have no idea what real life is like for most other people. So you're posting at 10 in the afternoon. Why? Because you just woke up. Because you can, and that's awesome. But the problem is, that person is not on Facebook. The worst times to post are between the hours of 9 and 5. So what you're wanting to post is, if you're not posting before 9 o'clock, probably before 8:30, then it's a waste for you. Because she's at work, typically. Okay? Then, maybe an okay time to post is at the end of the lunch hour. Then, Carline gets a little bit of a bump, depending on if they get to pick up their kids, between dinner. And then 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock is the sweet spot. And generally up to about 1 in the morning. So for me, I tell my team, don't even call me before about 11 in the morning, because I'm going to do a post, and then I'm going to be between 9 and 11 is a dead zone on Facebook generally, so I'm not going to really post that much. That's why I'll go cut the grass, I'll go do errands, I'll go do whatever, because when everybody goes to bed, that's generally when that mom is putting her kids down and they're up. So I'm thinking, when is she? Okay? So the big thing that I want to show you here is the where is she? Okay? So this is where you have to think of. So tomorrow, let's take Saturday. This Saturday, that person that you're thinking of, I want you to write down a location that she might be at. Think about it. What is she going to do? Is she going to go to a farmer's market? A couple weeks ago, was she at a pumpkin patch? Does her kid play soccer? Is she shopping at Whole Foods? Does she go to nursing school? So I'm going to ask a few of you what yours is. But where possibly is she on Saturday? Okay, who has one? You want to tell me?
A basketball game.
Where? Like, I want a real location.
The
somewhere.
YMCA basketball game for my niece. My sister.
Right, in what city?
Kendallville, Indiana.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask you that again here in a second. Anybody else have a place that she's at? Or is everybody like really tired? I want to go to bed.
She's at, I'll do mine. Mine's just female, 30, single, no kids, and out running errands, and she's at Target shopping.
Okay.
On Saturday, getting her errands.
Which
done.
Target?
I'll do Orem, Utah.
Okay. Where else? Keisha?
Mine is a personal trainer at the gym, training someone.
Which gym?
Goals.
Where? In what city?
Oh, sorry, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania.
Okay. So, I want to show you something cool on Instagram. Churn. Churn is where you follow people and then you unfollow people. All of you need to be exercising churn. It is something that's important. You can do it on Facebook, but typically what you hear is you're hearing about people that are going to, you know, triple super duper rocket ship emoji diamond, that's after black, in 3 days, and they did it all on Instagram. Now, what I want to warn you is, if I ask any of you to tell your story on the white couch in 90 seconds, you are going to leave out parts. Not because you're manipulating, because you can't tell your whole story. Let me tell you, just because somebody has a certain rank doesn't mean they're paid at a certain rank, right? Just because they hit a certain rank doesn't mean that 3 legs fell apart on them. Doesn't mean that you're not understanding that they're running 6 Instagram accounts and they're doing it for 14 hours a day. The average distributor, yeah, I've met them. They're making money. But if you take that, they're following 14, so Instagram allows you to have about 168 transactions an hour. And so if you look at it, we'll just make it easy and make it 1,000, but they're following up to 1,200 to 1,800 people a day. Unfollowing them, which means at the end of 1 month, they're following 30,000 people, but they got 30 distributors or loyal customers out of it. So what you heard is, I got 30 loyal customers and distributors off of Instagram.
I heard 30,000 people.
Yeah,
That's what I picked from that, was 30,000.
What?
That they followed and unfollowed 30,000. That's what I picked up.
No, but they're not telling anybody that on stage. What
No,
they're
they're
telling
not.
you is, I used Instagram and I got 30 people. And all of you run, like, lose your minds and go watch YouTube videos and like, I gotta do that. They don't tell you that they're running 6 Instagram accounts. It takes 14 hours a day, followed 30,000 people, which means they're getting like less than, like, do the math, 30 from that. So 0.1%. Do you know direct mail is 0.5%? Means that if you just would take your time and write a letter and target and send postcards in the mail, you would have a better return than that strategy. Now, I'm giving you a very extreme example of one case that I know, but that is what is called churn. Now, at Facebook, Twitter...
That's a lot of time wasted in my head.
Okay.
But that's
But-
still
in my
30
head.
But-
distributors a month. That's 30 distributors. How many distributors are you signing a month right now?
Okay, no, but you guys are totally missing the point. When you sign somebody up, they don't have 14 hours a day.
No.
Well, no.
They're
So you're
spending
saying
14 hours a
That's
day,
a full-time distributor.
14 hours a day, spamming 30,000 people, ruining this brand for everybody. Stop the madness. We hear it's a distraction. Do you need to have churn? Yes. I want to show you a thoughtful way to do churn.
Okay.
What you're hearing about is aggressive forms of it. Even if you watch certain YouTube videos, if you follow those exactly, you actually have your account banned now. Because there's guys like me who are working for these social media companies and helping for aggressive churn. This is what is called
beta tester for Periscope. Sam.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
That's awesome. Or for Twitter taking my high
Yeah.
five.
They
They
totally
can have
stole
5
that.
No, seriously.
Maybe
Okay.
they didn't steal it.
Well, they borrowed
Well,
it.
I hope you sold it.
What a compliment, right?
Yeah. So, but they also, if they ask me what I think, I would tell them exactly how to shut down distributors who were doing that. I don't feel that disloyal to anybody. I feel that as loyal to you. Because if one person is doing it and spamming 30,000 accounts a month, and then they're teaching 10 people how to do it, it is ruining the brand for everybody.
Yeah.
If they're triple rocket ship emoji, they're teaching more than 10 people how to do it.
And just because, and so like you were saying, your business page when you first started was really, really great. So if you told people, hey, get a business page, yeah, but that was 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Now it doesn't work the same way. Like it changes. So just because something worked on Instagram doesn't mean it's going to work the same. So I want to show you maybe a more thoughtful way, because what they're doing is they're using an app called Crowdfire, which I love as an app, and all of you should have it. But I'm going to show you how you should thoughtfully use it. And what they're doing is they're randomly selecting just followers of somebody. You can't even see the profiles, and they're just basically doing this until it locks them out. They set an alarm on their phone that goes off in an hour so that it lets them do it again. And they do that every day, 14 times a day, but we celebrate them. So we need to be very, very careful that when you sign somebody, they don't need to get a group page. They don't need to, like people are 3 days in and they're like, well, Sarah has a group and a page and yeah, Sarah would trade places for you in a minute to have your warm market. But because she doesn't have her warm market on Facebook, she now has to do different things that you will eventually have to do. But you need to do these things to start out. So we're actually even talking about doing a 10-day social starter program like the 100-Day Adventure, free to distributors for the first 10 days.
Yes.
To say do this, then this, then this, and then certain episodes. We're doing some new episodes now that we're only going to unlock when you hit diamond. So you're not even allowed to see it. When you hit triple, when you hit triple, then you can learn about, like, you don't need a page till you hit triple. You know, you don't need to talk about marketing funnels till you're at presidential and ambassador. You know, and so these are just the things that we're reworking a little bit. But let me show you here on Instagram, maybe of a thoughtful way to do this. Okay. So I'm going to use the example here in a second. It's a little temperamental here. Oh yeah.
I just need my insides. Oh, thanks. I had too much sugar. You need to chill. You what? You need to chill.
Okay. So here's what I want to show you here. Is I'm going to go to the search button right down here. And what a lot of people don't know is I'll go up to the search, and then I want to go to places. Now, here's what I want to do. What was one of the locations that we talked about?
Target.
Kendallville, Indiana.
Okay. Target. Orem, how do you spell it?
OREM.
And then Utah. 175 West Center Street, Orem.
Woo!
Okay.
We only got one.
Now, here's the thing.
That's my hometown, guys. Just so
Okay.
you know.
Okay, everybody, let's focus. Because you're going to miss it. I just created Instagram like it only existed in that target.
Right.
Why would you go to an app and follow 300 people, 1,000 people, when you can go here and go, these are the top posts. It just changed a couple weeks ago. These are the social influencers who are posting at Target. Do you think they would make good distributors for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can know her actually.
Okay.
Show your teeth.
No, but the idea is, if you're going through, you might want to follow them.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, I took a
And you
picture
went
of
to
them.
places.
Do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back, but let's
Shut
just. I
up.
want to stay focused.
Star Wars? Did you plan that?
No, I
Oh,
don't.
that's a
That's kind of
that's a
funny.
big chewy cutout there.
Pretty
That was
cool.
awesome.
Your
though.
team has way bad ADHD.
Squirrel.
No, I mean, no, you guys can decide you want like 5 really cool things or like 2 really cool things.
No,
Okay, so let's just
Keep
go
going.
with it here, okay?
Okay, keep going.
Be a little bit focused, because
Focus, man. Come on.
We're ready. We're ready.
do you probably want that person on your team?
Yes.
They're fun, they know how to take a picture, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Crowdfire is going to be an app where I'm going to go in and I'll just show you what it will do. And I'm going to tell you to take a fitness person, and what will happen is everybody's generally going to pick the same people. And so we'll take, I'll take somebody here, copy followers, and they're going to search Instagram. Let's take an Instagram account. Give me a fitness or
Katie. Katy. K-A-T-Y.
K-A-T-Y,
H-E-A-R-N.
H-E-R-N,
H-E-A-R-N.
H-E-A-R-N.
Fit.
She just got a booty like, whoa.
Okay. So what's going to happen is, let me show you how people are doing that. They put Katie Hearn Fit, and this is what they're going to do. We'll go to, so I'm going to take her here, right there. She has a private account, so I can't use that. We're going to go, give me another one. Well, let me just try, because
She did.
it might have.
Ashley Horner. Ashley Horner.
That first one.
There it is. Okay, so let me show you what people are doing with churn when you hear about it. This is literally it. Do you see any information about these people?
No.
A name and a green.
So I'm going to just ruin my Instagram account by doing this, and literally this is what they do.
Yeah.
So is that what we
No,
want
watch.
to do or we
No.
don't want to do?
No.
Don't do that. He
No,
said
look what's
ruin.
happening.
You're doing it.
I'm what?
Adding them.
Why are you doing it?
You're doing that.
Because I'm showing you. I'm destroying
But
my
it's
account.
bad for you. Yeah.
It's very bad for
You
me.
shouldn't do that.
You still want to follow?
I am a guinea pig. My accounts are. I break them all the time.
Yeah,
and I
you
do
already have
things
like
to try to
2.5 million.
show you, but the idea is like literally this, because I literally want to show you, like they're literally, look how thoughtful
You're right.
and important that, like, I'm just gonna randomly select all these people not knowing anything about them, meaning how many of them sell another product, how many of them are on account. So what you've done, and when people go, I just get a bunch of spammers, because you're a spammer. And you put 30 hashtags because you copy and paste from an app that gives you 30 random popular hashtags. And so you have follow for follow, and you have sunshine, roses, rainbow, and it's, you know, it's a picture of food. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Because somebody said, well, I need followers, Well, so here's a more thoughtful way. So I basically added 77 people to my account. They will do 1,200 a day like that.
Yeah.
Then what happens is the next day, they just unfollow all of them.
The ones.
See, but then the problem is not everyone gets on your Instagram every day.
That's what I
But
want.
listen,
Not a lot of people. I mean, I
Okay,
am.
but in a
But
month.
let me tell you, that's
But let me
what
say,
that's
you know,
what churning
this is why I'm telling you.
Well, that no,
Why
that's
it doesn't
so
work.
that go through and
Okay.
unfollow.
Okay,
You-
no, we're
okay,
listening.
okay.
We're listening.
You don't have to convince
I want
me.
5 tips, so let's go.
No, I'm saying like.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is that why does it work? Because you do it for 30,000 people.
That's
And if
right.
I ask 30,000 girls out, I'm gonna get 30 dates.
Right.
But the stats is that's horrible. Like, that's not a win. But what we say is if I told guys, hey, I had 30 dates this month, I went out with 30 different women this month, all my buddies would be like, dude, you're a stud. You're amazing. Yeah, I'd asked 30,000 women. Like, now they're like, you are the most desperate idiot that's ever lived. But I'm going to go and tell you my story. Man, I'm going to leave out some parts. You see? And I want you to just kind of see is don't be fooled by...
So our business
but you
profile
need churn.
essentially should be like our dating profile. Like, it's like the highlights, thoughtful,
So,
but not too much.
let me show you here then. Is the best way to do it is this. Instead of just going and hitting 1,000, follow 10 to 15 a day, 20 a day. So I go in here, and again, I'm going to go back, and those are just the top posts. If I go here to the most recent, so, do you think...
Wait.
Okay.
Can you show us what button you pressed?
All I did was I typed in the target that she said that the person she wants on her team this Saturday is going to shop at Target. Okay?
Yeah.
That rock star.
So smart.
Okay?
Yeah.
So now
So
you're
much
starting to think
sense.
they're at the gym, they're at a coffee shop, they're at the YMCA. So I'm going here. It separates to say these are the top posts, but we don't have to worry about the top posts. We can just go right to here because all of them will be in there. So let me ask a question.
Oh.
Do you think she wants to be home with that little girl?
Yep.
Follow. Probably somebody on your team that you want. Follow.
No.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, actually, I'm actually what she's.
Is it a guy or a girl?
No, what is it? It's her little
It's her
kid.
kid.
It's her kid, and everybody. And when you look at her account a little bit, what you see is
She's proud mom.
she's a proud mom, and she's a little bit of a goofball, which is kind of maybe somebody fun on your team.
It's a lot to read.
that?
Jesus. Oh, I like her. Oh. See, that would make me stop because it's a video. I would. I would
Okay,
follow
but see,
her.
do you think that I could go through here just really quick and follow 10 to 15 people,
Yeah.
and then let them be in my account for a week or two?
Yeah.
And not just dump them because I'm randomly going through spamming 75, 100 people, not caring, because I'm going and saying, this is a location by my house. Which means that if you had a team meeting, that they're right there. You can build a strong team.
That is so smart.
So, I'll explain, I'm going to show you one other thing, and I'm going to give you a little bit of how I would do it if I were you, okay? Another way that you can search, right? So let's search one more place. Let's, what about that gym?
Gold's Gym.
So, Gold's Gym where?
Camp Hill. 2 words. Camp.
Gold's Gym, Camp Hill.
Yep.
This one?
Yep.
So now Instagram is here. So you can start to decide.
And that was most recent, so literally they might have just posted that because they're there right now.
Well, this
Or
one
like you were
doesn't
telling
get a
us
lot of-
earlier, it could be they posted it after the fact, like you did.
Or you can just read in the right hand corner there. I was about to show you. It says 1 week ago, and then 3 weeks ago, which means this isn't a good one. I wouldn't fish in this pond. Not a lot of posts, and a bunch of people I probably don't want on my team. But I mean, that one might be one, but that's also
So
6 weeks
checking
ago,
the
so it's too late.
time is important too.
But
checking
Target
see if
was
she's
minutes.
active.
That was
Right.
good. Target one was really good. So,
But this is what you have to do. You're going to go and say, I'm going to start writing
Okay.
down locations. And you're going to
For
try things. You're going to say,
specific
that one's not a
people.
really great one. Wow, this is a gold mine.
Well, chances are people like at the gym, that's great. But they're usually at the gym, they're not necessarily.
No, I mean, some gyms are awesome.
Yeah.
Some gyms just have a lot of, are very Instagrammable. Some are not. Okay, I'm going to show you another thing. Next to the people, we have tags. So I'm going to go to tags, and one of the ones I'm going to show you here is I'm going to give you one. Don't use it because I give everybody the same one, and it's already been overused. So there's I'm going to give you it is because, well, you can, but you won't get anything. You'll go like, this is awesome, but you have to realize that there's hundreds of distributors. So I use the same example. So I like to use boy mom problems.
Boy mom problems?
Okay, so if you look at a hashtag, this is one where moms with just boys.
That would be me.
Right? So there's some broken plates. I'm a mom. My house is always loud and messy, and that's okay because one day it will be quiet, spotless, and lonely. Okay. Probably want her on my team.
Yeah.
Right? That's a great post. When you're texting your friends pics for outdoor and drinking your shake at the same time, multitasking, yes, my marriage is stir as it looks. My carpet too, hashtag boy mom problems. Authentic. I would totally want her on my team. Because authenticity is huge. Probably too much copy and a contest and too many hashtags. You think she wants to be home with her kids? You know, awesome. Everybody wants her on her team, right? Crazy candy mom. Now, these hashtags, right? These hashtags are now everywhere. So I'm showing you two different ways. You're going to start to build some hashtags, and you're going to also have some locations. And what you're going to do is you got to pick how many you might want to follow every day or every week, because some of you have other things you have to do. And this isn't probably the most important thing for you to be doing. You don't have 14 hours a day to put in on Instagram. Okay? But here's what I would recommend. Whatever you think your number is, so let's just all agree we're going to follow 20 people a day, right? And so we're going to go and try some locations. We're going to try hashtags. We're going to kind of go back and forth. And what you'll find is at some point you'll go to like a Target, and after your 11th time, you're hitting some of the same people at Instagram at Target. So you got to move on to someplace else. You'll get a couple of your hashtags. So let's take like a 10-day window. So if we do 20 a day for 10 days, then our buffer is 200, okay? So normally when we look at a profile, I'm going to show you a big tip here in a second. So I want you to think about this, is that day one, you follow 20 people. You don't unfollow anybody, you just follow 20 people. Now there's 20 people in your feed. And 20 is manageable, right? Like if they're posting, now you're liking and you're commenting. Day 2, 20, day 3, 20. Day 4, day 5, day 6, day 9, day 10. Now on day 10, it's different. Day 10, you follow 20 people and you unfollow about 18. And why 18? Because some of them will follow you. Because out of that time, they're going to follow you, or what they're going to do is they won't follow you, right? Now, I'm going to show you in Crowdfire, what you do is you go from the bottom so that the 18 that you unfollow was from 10 days ago. It was that first day one, those 20 people. And I'm just using 18 because I'm assuming that 2 of them are following you. Because if you were on every day and you were engaging, you had 10 days to see their feed. And if you were liking and you were commenting and you were doing that and they still don't want to be your friend after 10 days, because here's my thing. Is everybody on every day? No. But if they're not on at least in 10 days.
What do you
and
think would be
post.
like the bare minimum that you need to be on Instagram?
I mean, listen, if you haven't been on in 2 weeks, I dump you off my account. If I see it. Okay. Like, okay. I go to a ghost followers thing. It's like if you didn't like or comment and have any, because everybody talks about the 5,000 Facebook limit. There's a 7,500 Instagram limit. Just most people don't hit it. Which is why people have 6 accounts. Because literally what they're doing is like, oh, Facebook only allows me to have 5,000 friends. I'm going to create another version of myself.
So if we've been doing our Instagram wrong this whole time and we've got way more followers than we do following,
yeah, you're probably not getting much interaction.
So how do we just go through and unfollow a bunch of, like, just
You
try to take some time?
You wait about 20 minutes for me to get to that part.
Okay.
And all your answers will be solved.
Like,
So, what we do is we have churn. You guys got to follow me on this. I'm sorry. Like, for me, I'm wide awake. I know you guys are tired.
We're listening.
I'm trying to give you the best,
anyone want to go to bed?
newest stuff.
No,
okay?
we're awake.
So,
if anyone wants to
you got to think of that you have that on day 10, when you unfollow 18 people, it's not randomly 18 people. I'm going to show you the app that's going to allow you to unfollow them. Because here's the thing, the reason I want you to unfollow some of you, like I see, it's like you have 2,500 people you're following, but only 700 are following you. That means, you know, you're having 1,400 people that don't care or interact with you. You need to get rid of them. Why? Because you need to leave room for the people who want to engage with you, the people that want to do stuff. So, you might decide I'm going to do 10 a day. Some of you say I'm not going to do it every day. I'm going to do it once a week. Whatever your number is. My feeling is that if they haven't been on and posted inside of 10 days, and that they haven't, if I've liked and commented and they have not followed me back, then they're probably not the best person that I want on my team to go out and do this. Okay? Because we're just talking about Instagram. We're talking about getting loyals and distributors from this. Okay? So that is the churn, and you think of that number. So now instead of following 30,000 people, if you think about it, you know, we still might follow 600 in a month. But hopefully out of that 600, you still could get a pretty good percentage. You might not get 30 starting out, because there is a scale in numbers, but it only also took you 5-10 minutes to do that a day. Versus if you, not 14 hours. So again, people go, well, I only got 5 and that other person got 30 for 14 hours a day, and I gave you something in 5 minutes a day. The ROI is huge on my version.
Well, time is valuable.
Right?
There.
Because again, one of the important things for you to understand is that, let's see. I don't know if I have cash in here. Yeah, I do. So let's have $1. Let's say I do have $1. So if I give $1 to you, and let's say I'm buying something, right? Most people say you just spend $1 on that. I didn't spend it because it still exists. You realize is you don't spend money, you circulate money. If I spend a minute, it is gone. I don't ever get it back. I spend $1, it's not gone, he has it. Wealthy people get more money circulating to them than circulate away from them. But it's a very important concept to understand, because what we do is we're really, really, really stingy with money, and we just give away our time. And it means nothing to us. We just kind of throw it out there, right? And so your time is super valuable. So back to this. This is the 2 ways that I would use to be thoughtful. Now, if some of you have a little bit more time and it's working for you, you can do more. But the idea is that you're thoughtful when you do it. So most people that are running those aggressive churn, they don't ever go to their home feed. Because the problem with their home feed is it's gibberish, right? But for me, you know, I do get it a little bit janky because of these examples, but this might be somebody that I just had followed. And so I'm looking for posts that I want more of in the world. Now I have a certain rule that I do. I try to get 10 points every time I log in. So what we do is we open up our, now you're like, there's points, I make it up. So I'm gonna show you how I do it. The first thing when you open up Instagram, I know what you do. You go right to this button here and you wanna know everything that's happening all about you, okay? Because the world revolves around us. The average person, at least on Facebook, logs in 6 times a day. Instagram is probably somewhat similar. So what I do is before I'm allowed to post or check that button, I play a game with myself. And what I do is I have to always go to the home feed and I got to get 10 points. A like is 1 and a comment is 2. So I either can like 10 photos or I can leave 2 comments or I can like 5 and leave a comment. It only takes 20 seconds. But you'll notice what happens is you'll feel better at the end of it, but you need to build that engagement. So I'm literally going through, and you see most people are just going to skip this stuff. So I like that one, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like, I make myself have to do this. Like, I have to, before I'm allowed to, like, my notification, I want to see how my post is doing. I have a really good idea for a post. I'm not allowed until I go through and so then I get 5, so now I'm over. Now, and sometimes I'll just kind of keep going a little bit. Okay, now I'll go and check that. But what happens now is because I don't have hundreds of people I'm going through there, eventually it's really the law of reciprocation is that generally is if you're liking and commenting, people have a higher propensity to like and comment back. In a real world example is if you go down your street here and there's one neighbor that always waves, you kind of wave back. And that might not mean a lot, but the next time you're at like a PTA meeting, you don't know anybody, and you see that person, you'll gravitate to that person because they were friendly to you. And a lot of times they will go and check out your profile. Now, here's the next thing I'll show you. One of the things that happens is we don't realize how, we think how we use Instagram, not how others use Instagram. Meaning, I use Instagram because I look at my comments and things about me. I look at my profile. The only time anybody really is going to look at this is if they decide to follow me or not. Afterwards, are they going to look at this? How are they going to see my pictures? In the newsfeed. So why do you still have your before and afters all through here? Product shots. It only needs to go in your newsfeed, stay for about 48 hours, and then delete it.
Really? To just start
Why?
doing stuff?
No, just you all nodded, and then I said do it, like you got it.
Makes sense.
And then you're like, but I don't. Why?
Because whenever they go to this profile and they see before and afters and they see product, they know you're going to want to sell them something.
And
But
they're
if they
not
see
going to follow
you, then they want to know you and who you are. So
Now,
that's why.
would I leave a before or after in there? Yeah, leave a couple.
It also helps your influence, doesn't it? Because you have less posts but more followers.
Yeah, but also what they do is they go through and they say, see, I use it, the tailgate test is what I call it internally, is do I want to hang out with this person? And if there is, so for example, let's take kind of an average distributor. I'm going to go to this person here. So, maybe, probably not, I mean borderline. Like, why do they need a before and after here and a before and after here?
They don't.
Now, in their posting schedule they do, because they need to get it in the feed, but they don't need to keep them both. So this is okay, like it's not amazing. Again, it's a little bit like I'm not sure I want to. Like I'm probably not going to follow this person. Well, I mean, the question that you have to do is, prior to joining, It Works, would you follow this person. So we have product,
No.
product,
No.
product, product,
Yeah, probably not.
product, product, product. And the way I look at it is, do I want my 17-year-old to go to my Instagram account and see this?
No.
Then that means somebody could be offended and they go and they report you, and that's how you lose your accounts. So the question is, you don't want to follow that person. But you know what you can do? And you know why I don't want to follow this person too? How many people is she following?
Wow.
Way more than
About double what she's following.
But if you met her and she said, yeah, I got like 3,600 followers, you'd be like, that's awesome. How did you get 3,600? You think, because she didn't tell you the whole story.
Right.
The whole story is she spends a bunch of time following a bunch of people, and who she gets is she picks up generally more desperate people. Because if I ask out 30,000 ladies on a date, probably the 30 that said yes, if they knew that they were number 29,874 and they still were okay with that, not sure want to settle down with that. You know, and that's what they're doing, is they're picking up people that just want, yeah, I'll follow you if you follow me. I'll sell you my stuff, you sell. They're not getting that rock star, right? So that's another thing that I tell people to do recently, is just make sure you're going back and you're cleaning up your feed.
Good to know.
Because when you post, you get about a 6 hours till your Instagram post isn't going to get much interaction anymore. So I say 48 hours. I mean, you could say 3 days. You could say I'm going to do it once a week. You could say, you know, I have 17 children and 3 jobs, and I only can spend 2 hours on a Saturday morning. Cool. Then follow 50 people. The next Saturday, unfollow the ones that didn't, add a new 50 people, and clean up your feed. You got to just create the version that works for you and your timing. I want to go back to the unfollower app here. I mean the Crowdfire, because while I hate it, there are some things I love about it. I hate the copy followers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I go to recent unfollowers, and it is going to load up here. It's synced 25 minutes ago. So what this allows me to do is it shows me who recently unfollowed me. Now, what I want to tell you is, before you go and do this, if you are an emotional person that can't handle it, do not load up this app. But you probably should just go ahead and get out of the business.
All right,
Because Brad Duplashane, I've done tons of favors for. He's a designer in LA, and he's a great guy, and he unfollowed me today on Instagram. I don't care. Why do I care? I'm not going to unfollow him. So I have the paid version, like it doesn't cost that much, so I go and whitelist him, which just means that it won't ever, like I basically, whatever you do to me, I'm not going to do back to you there, as well as I can block people. So these people, what I'm going to do initially is basically this, so I have, you see I have all of these, well these are just recently unfollowers, okay? So I'm going to go in and say these people for whatever reason decided they don't want to be my friend anymore. That's fine. There's 75 million Instagram accounts. I only get to follow 7,500. So I just want to follow the 7,500 coolest people. And if you don't want to have a relationship with me, that's cool. Now, Brad unfollowed me. For whatever reason, my own brother unfollowed me. He got a little jealous. So, you know, fine. Like, or I post too much, or whatever the reason is. Like, I don't care. So, I'm just going to go, and this is one of the kind of cleanup things that I do. You know, unless I personally know them. So, I hit my Instagram unfollow limit, and the reason I did that is because I had followed so many people we saw earlier, so I hit the limit on it. So I'll have to go back later. So I can look at recent unfollowers, but I also can go to people that aren't following me. So what you'll notice is all of those fitness accounts, they're going to be kind of down at the bottom here. So when I go and say, let's say it was 18, I'm starting from here and I'm just doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to do it that way. Actually, it's the other way. You'll be able to tell when you'll be able to tell when it's your account. But I'm just going to go here and I'm just going to go and count 18, right? Or if I decide I'm doing 50 a week, I'm gonna unfollow maybe 45. You kind of have to figure out what your percentage is there. Okay, so that's what I'll use this for. I'll use unfollowers to who recently unfollowed me or who decided not to follow me, and then that is what churn is. So you can do a very thoughtful churn. Okay, you need to do churn if you want to be serious on Instagram, but you don't have to go crazy with it. One of the big things too is people are going to look at your bio. So who is brave enough
I will.
that would let me critique your Instagram account in front of everybody?
You can critique mine. Just look up Sandy Dury.
Sarah, I'll let you pick. Who do you want me to do?
Who's the oldest? What year are you born?
79.
85.
Mark, you just let him critique yours.
There you go. Who's the oldest?
Sarah.
76.
You.
I'm 79.
There you go, Jay.
On Instagram, you are?
Jay the rapper, just letter J.
So one of the things I want to show you is a cool feature that I love is if you look in the top three buttons there, I'm going to hit that and I can now have a new feature. It's about 2 months old called turn on post notifications. So that means every time that Jay posts, it is going to send me a push notification on my phone. Why is that important? That newbie that you just signed, they probably need a little love in that first week. That lead that you got, guys, I'll do you a big favor. Follow your girlfriend, your wife. I literally have like friends of mine like, bro, I love you. And I'm like, why? I go, because I got home and my wife was like, you took time out of your busy day and you go on my Instagram account and you liked my stuff.
Can you show me what that was again that you did?
Okay, you go to their account,
Yeah.
upper right hand corner, turn on.
Okay.
So what it will do is, so now if I go through and swipe down on my phone and go to notifications, it's going to show me different people, like Katie Shanker just posted a photo because I push notifications turn on. So now I can go to her and like her photo. So out of, if I'm following, so like my daughter, my son, people on my team, corporate accounts, it will come up while I'm doing stuff, but I don't have time. So I just have my settings that the last 20 I can see.
But it'll never be in that little heart thing, that heart little notification thing, right?
Sorry.
I've never seen it there. Go out of that page. Go to Instagram. The little heart notification thing down
No,
there.
it will show up here. Like
Yeah.
if somebody posted, like if Jay posted right now, you would see on my screen, it would come up in just that top part here. It would say Jay just posted a photo.
Your normal notifications.
It'd be just normal notifications, but sometime in the middle of stuff, so I'm not going to do that. But if I have time, what am I going to do? I want to go and see who are the people that I said. So Victor, he's actually has a doctorate, and I think he's from Rwanda, and he came over and he works a community program, and so actually he's Nigerian.
I have a question then.
Kind of question, Misty.
Well, I wanted to let him.
That's part of the thing of how would I ever know that he had posted if it's just in this timeline? Because he's important to me. And so that's how I know that the last 20 important people for me is that in the notifications.
That has been amazing because I just started that like a month ago. It's huge, especially the new people you just add. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I do really good, and then a few days later you're like, oh crap, what was her whatever? So you have that notification and you can continue to follow them.
So why that's important is I'm always just doing like who are the last. I need to get 10 points, right? Just because here's the thing, I have a lot going on in my world, but I get that habit. So if I'm on Instagram 3 times a day, potentially I'm liking 20, 30, 40 people's stuff. If you're on more because you're doing more with Instagram, that scales. If you're on 10 times a day, now you probably have more people, which means I'm gonna like 15 people's stuff. So, but the notifications make sure you don't miss any special people. So let's go back to Jay.
Do you know why the notifications for that, like I have some notifications on, and at night I put my do not disturb on, but the notifications still ding. He's like, why is your phone like making noise?
Right.
So how do I do that?
On your iPhone?
Yes.
Okay, let's go back to that because I don't want to miss some important stuff. Because your do not disturb, you think you have it turned on, but you don't. Yeah, we're going to save it for later.
Okay.
Because it's not really going to help your business that your phone dings a little too much. But basically, it would happen to me. What happens is, do not disturb only if your phone is in lock mode is what you have turned on. You have to go in and adjust the settings. You can just go in and look at it. Okay. Like it's pretty simple. And if we have time before I go, I can show you how to do it. By the way, you also can always go to adventure support. Like a lot of people don't know. I have my entire team. There's 9 of us, and every day, we have covered from 6 in the morning typically to about 3 in the morning. There's about a 3-hour window where we don't work, and we are online answering any questions. So if you have the 100-day adventure, like literally, you have like an Apple Genius like social media, and they are there to like, hey, I can't get my notifications, or hey, this, that. Okay, here's how we do it. And you just go to the adventure support and submit that. It's a completely different system outside of normal customer service. It's my team for social media. So let's see. Let's look at Jay. So pretty good amount of ratio of. So the first question I ask myself is, would I want to tailgate or hang out with this person? Yes. Why? Because I'm going through and I'm not seeing an overly sales-driven thing. Looks like fun guy. Looks like he's into some tech. Loves Apple, Star Wars, you know. So I would follow him. Now, one of the things I would tell you, Jay, is this is where you can go through and say, like, that wow post isn't doing you any good anymore. Might as well delete it. Because when people are going through, they're just saying, there's just, you know, this guy has a life that, like, I'd like that life where he seems interesting, right? The big thing that I would tell you is, so I look at generally a couple of things. So I'll tell you how I look at Jay's account. First thing I do is I'm looking at his profile picture. You want to make sure that you're not just having a logo. Like, you want to make sure, so he's holding a can of energy. Jay, I'd probably go in a little tighter because people want to see faces and they want a little bit of a contrast. So I don't need this. So the thing is, I'm sure this is, as I'm looking like really close, this is probably a really cool picture, but we're only ever going to see it that size. Right. So because it's only that size, I need to zoom in a little bit more because I want to see, like, it looks like there's some, it looks like, I don't know if you're at a festival, it looks like there's trussing there.
It's a fence.
We're in a
It's a
pile of wood.
Nah, so right, you know, where the big electrical company where they have all their capacitors and stuff, that's what's behind us. It was a photo shoot we did.
No, but I mean, it looks really cool.
But I get it. So
but what I'm saying is, I can't really, I would zoom in probably 30-40%.
Okay.
On that. The other thing is you need to add emojis to it. So, happy husband and proud father of 3. Every day is Saturday for me.
It rhymes.
Yeah. What I would do is
I got lyrics.
What emojis would you put in there?
Smiley, kids.
Right. I mean,
what else?
I mean, even if I'm looking through your post, I mean, I'd probably do the fight emoji.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people, what they do is they're gonna put just certain words. I was helping this one girl's account. She had won an adventure audit. And so this is how So this is how I fixed her account. So I have not explained to her yet the product thing. But one of the things that I did is she was following like 1,800 people on the right. So we had to get that number down. And because you're on follow limit, it took her like 3-4 days to get those numbers down. But she had written this long thing that nobody really cares about, right? So who is she? She's a boy mom. Live, laugh, love, dance, fun, music, horses, SEC football, travel, coffee, fall, boots, Louis Vuitton, smart blonde. Okay, she's really described herself very well and put an emoji with each. So this is a really, really great bio. You're seeing a little bit closer. She had a more obscure photo, but there's still a little bit of mystery. So all of a sudden I'm going Southern Belle skinny. I'm looking. It's a decent profile picture. I'm looking at that number. Does she have a ton more followers? Now it's okay if you have more people you're following than are following you within about 10%. Like if she was in the low 800s, I don't care. She's at 1,200. She's at 1,500. I'm like, is she that friend? Like, why do not people, or what's going on? Like, it starts to ask questions, right? And then, generally what you do is you're going to go through and I'm going to look at her posts. And so this is where she's got a little bit too much posts that have type on it. And she's got probably a little bit too much product shots. One thing that she does too is she like Instagram throws up a little bit. So this all happened in the same 2 hours. So she should have done more of collages for that. But like on my next coaching call, I'll go over that. I mean, my first step was more like, is this somebody I want to follow? So Jay, with you, I think you might want to look at doing something more like this. Yeah, that I think is more visual and more descriptive.
I just did some changes now.
Yeah, and I think you didn't completely describe who you are. Okay. I mean, you said that husband, father, and every day is Saturday. But I think there's probably more to you. Okay. Like, what else are you into?
Sports, music.
Yeah, so that should be in there.
Okay.
Because what you're going to do is you're going to start to say, like, what sport are you really into right now? Football, what team?
Skins.
Okay, so...
You don't want to advertise that.
We're fine.
But, so, think about it.
Your following just went way down.
So this girl here is making crazy money right now. I'll give you one of her secrets. She was one of the first ones that we tested, that we tested out this targeting thing. She's into Auburn football. That's her SEC team. Even if she can't go to the Auburn game or over there playing, she goes on that Saturday and goes to Instagram where they are and follows the fans.
Kind of like your whole story that way.
Right? Yeah. And she posts that it's boot season, and she has posts about wrapping your ankles so that you can get into your boots. She is making money hand over fist right now. She lives in Birmingham, Alabama, and basically goes to games and sells wraps for people to wrap their calves so they can get in their boots. Brilliant. Yeah. Like, walks around with a wad of cash. So, but what did she do? she had to go through and say, I'm going to follow people that are into boots. So is there a hashtag for it? Is there a place they buy those boots? Is there certain events that they're going to? Now I'm going to make sure that I throw in some posts about my boots. And now look what I wrapped somebody with their boot. Like, look how much money I'm making. So this is where she even went down a rank, started doing some things, and this was the example of, it's what, the 12th, and she's already done her steps to success in this month, just with some of these strategies. And she has a lot of improvement to do, right? She doesn't have a huge following, right? But those were all people, I think 3 loyals and 2 of her distributors were off of Instagram. Wow. In the last 12 days. Wow. But she has to be intentional. She also works 10 hours a day as a pharmacist. So this is where I'm trying to go, like, she doesn't get to sit at home all day and do this. So what I'm trying to do is create strategies. I want to create a little bit of a program where it's like, if you give me 30 minutes a day, every day with social media, you can be successful, and it would just be inevitable. It'd be a matter of time that you would make it to ambassador. You'd have ups and downs, you'd have curveballs, but you don't need to spend hours and hours and hours doing it. So that's just an example of, we spent time working on her bio, what emojis to use, what things to put in, and tweaked it, and she gets really good reaction from this one. So
I love it.
I have a question. So when you're deciding what, like how you have individual words with emojis in there, are you basing those off of popular hashtags, or are you just,
that's her
stuff just describes you?
Describes you. If not, then you're kind of a spammer.
Yeah, but I mean, you get what I mean. Like things that describe you, but are the hashtags that match what describes you.
We're over.
I'm sorry. Okay.
People ask me about what should I periscope about. What are you passionate about? I don't know. Then nobody's gonna ever want to